Welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your hosts, Rob and Randy, who reveal the truth, the lies, and confusion about health so that you are no longer the victim to mainstream medical dogma and you are the hero to your own happy, healthy story.
Welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your host, Rob and
Randy. What's up, guys?
Good morning. We've got a great show today. We're getting geared up for leaving. I can't believe we're actually leaving this Friday. Where are we headed to?
We are headed to Italy, specifically Ischia, Italy. For those of you going with us, we cannot wait to spend time with you. This trip is going to be life-altering. And for those of you who are not going, you probably got a little FOMO, but don't worry, we'll do a trip again soon. But I'm excited, man. This got here quick, but it's all coming together, and I'm super pumped about it. In fact, we'll jump into that private group this week and answer a few questions and make sure you guys are ready to go with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So just following up from last week on the podcast, I know we started talking about different trends in holistic healthcare. Some trends that are good, some that are not so good. We talked about plant-based diets. We talked about the dangers with the plant-based diets. If you didn't hear that podcast, definitely go back and listen to that because we really covered a lot of information on that. We talked about mental health, mental clarity, mental well-being. We talked a little bit about the things that Renee Marino had taught us, who is also going to be with us in Italy.
Hey, two things really quickly before we dive in deep with this. Number one, Sharon says, hey, you guys are color coordinated. And I think that's really funny
That is hilarious.
Because yesterday, and we weren't on any video yesterday, I walked into the office and I was like, we're wearing the exact same thing. And today, without any other conversation, we are color coordinated. Thank you, Sharon. We try to show up and be color coordinated, a big part of the Happy, Healthy Life. And number two, based off that Renee Marino feedback we had one of our clients actually send me a recorded video to say, hey, I didn't want to send you a text. I wanted to send you a message and make it more personal, let you know that I appreciate you, that I love you, and I'm thankful for you. And I was like, it made my whole day. So if you haven't sent a video message to somebody that you care about, do it. It will impact them. It feels so good to get those.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. We love seeing your feedback. You guys are the best. I love our audience. Our peeps are great. We also talked about intermittent fasting, time restricted eating. We got into that, gave you some feedback on that. And again, like anything else, whether we're talking about natural healthcare, we're talking about any of the other topics that we talk about, everything has got to be unique and specific to that person. So one of the things that we always talk about is there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to anything. That's why our program is customized. It's specific to every single person that's going through our program because everybody is unique and different. So don't think that because, I do something or Dr. Randy does something that's going to be the tell-all be-all for everyone and everything to all things. That's just not the case because the way God created our bodies is to be unique and different. Thank God.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think our message really at the end of the day is we just want you guys to fall back in love with what we love and had to fall back in love with is that we really believe that health is it's our God-given birthright. And that the greatest doctor in the world is inside of you, and falling in love with that, knowing that there are things you can do to impact your health. The biggest thing you can do for your health is to stop interfering to that process. Your body really doesn't need help healing. It just needs no interference. And if you don't understand that the allopathic approach or the Western medicine approach to health is once again going back into a model of blaming genetics, blaming your age, becoming a victim. These are permanent things. There's nothing you can do. Disease is the normal. Health would be the abnormal. And now the only thing you can do is manage chronic illness that was out of your control for the rest of your life. And that really is a lie that we've been sold. And that's been baked into us really since we were very young. I always talk about this. And one of the people we've been mentored, not because he passed away before we got to meet this guy, but all of his readings, BJ Palmer, he talked about how so many of us were born into a medicine cabinet. And that would literally, we've moved our faith in the power that made our body to heal into a teaspoonful of medicine. How did that happen? So I think at the end of the day, our message is, listen, We don't have all the answers. We don't have it figured out, but here's what we do know. When you create an environment with your body that doesn't interfere and allows it to do its job, which it already does a great job of, incredible healing can take place. Radical changes can take place. That's really our message. It's more of a holistic wellness approach to healing because we've really put that faith, anchored it in. And if I can overcome late stage cancer and you can overcome 65 pounds and keep it off for a decade, we believe there isn't anything that you can't do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk today, and everything we talk about are things that we've done and or are doing, or we've got knowledge in. We're never going to give you guys something or ask you to do something that we haven't already done and or tried or hasn't worked for us. And so that's why even as we're going into Italy, and one of the things that we've been working really hard on is really developing our next level program to allow people to be able to see exactly what it is that we do on a daily basis, but not only see what it is that we do on a daily basis, be able to track the results that they're getting on a daily basis so that they know that what it is that we're talking about, what it is that we're recommending is working for every single individual who goes through any of our programs. I know that's really important to us because there's so many different workout programs out there, diet programs, nutrition programs. There's so many things out there. And at the end of the day, it's just really confusing. And they all have one thing in common. The thing that they all have in common is there's no customization. There's no specificity. It's one of those things where they'll tell you that, okay, everybody should be doing all of these things right here, right? And or you go to a nutrition and they give you a bag full of 85 different supplements that you should be taking on a daily basis.
Very expensive, by the way.
Very expensive, without understanding how all those things are working together inside that person's body. So we're into simplicity, right?
Absolutely.
We're into doing things that work. We're into doing something that is ancestral. In other words, the way that we were created to do things in the first place. And so with that being said, I think that's a good segue into talking about this topic here as we're getting into trends in holistic healthcare, or some people would say like biohacking for a health optimization. I don't even know that this is really a biohack because these are things that we should be doing. However, there's technologies that can really help us with this topic right here. And this topic is huge. And I think it's a topic that's glossed over a lot because right now in our society, people are busier than ever before with more things to do than they have enough hours in the day. So the thing that people are getting less and less and less of more now than ever before is sleep and rest. So I want to talk about some things.
The person that says, I'll sleep when I die is going to die a lot quicker than they even possibly imagine. Who's ever heard? I think I've even said that.
We had a mentor that used to teach us that. And what he used to say is he'd say, you know what? You got things to do. And because you got things to do, yeah, you can sleep when you die. So I remember I'd be going to bed at like 12 o'clock at night and waking up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Now, that may be great for some people. And I do know people that they function unbelievably well under those conditions. I do not.
Yeah.
My body requires rest. Okay.
And that's not unique to you, by the way, Dr. Rob. All of us require rest, repair, and healing. And we know that when you sleep, if you're not getting good quality sleep in multiple, at least 4 different REM cycles during a sleep pattern, your body isn't allowed to heal, and by the way, that will completely wreck your metabolism. Who knows when you're not sleeping well and you hadn't slept for a long time, not only is your energy poor, you don't feel good, but it seems impossible to even lose any weight. And what's interesting is when you sleep, all your organ systems slow down, which is kind of cool because the only system in your entire body that speeds up when you sleep is your nervous system, because your nervous system is working hard to heal, repair, and get you prepped and ready to take on the next day. So how cool is that? The body slows down, the nervous system speeds up, but there's several things we're going to show you guys that you can start doing to not only get great sleep, but lead you up to getting into sleep where you can actually hit those REM cycles, get all the healing you need, and wake up the next day looking and feeling your best.
Yeah. So here's a huge one right here. It's filtering and or eliminating blue light, right? As we're looking at a screen right now, right? But here's the thing.
It's not 8 o'clock at night.
But it's not 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So one of the things that people are doing more now than ever before is looking at these things right here, like right before you go to sleep, is probably the worst thing that you could possibly do, is be looking at a screen right before you go to bed, okay? Especially a blue screen. And so we're talking about computers, TVs. One of the things that I had to do even is I was one of those people that always had to watch TV before they went to bed, right?
Yeah.
So I had to unplug that sucker out of the wall in
Versus
the bedroom.
the sledgehammer into it,
And
which is cheaper.
and I've done that too. I've done that too. That's a story right there. And so, okay, true story. How many of you guys want to know the story real quick? Okay.
This is true. I don't think I know this. You put a sledgehammer into your TV?
I did. I don't know if
purpose?
you remember this. Yeah. So it was, gosh, this was probably like in 2005 to 2008, somewhere inside there. But I was like literally addicted to watching SportsCenter.
Okay.
And I was watching so much SportsCenter, was like interfering with time being spent with like my kids, time spent working and things. It was like I was watching a ridiculous amount. And I remember I had calculated it was like 28 hours a week or something.
Oh gosh.
Insane like that. And so I remember what I did is I literally took a hammer and sent it through the TV to get myself to stop doing that. And guess what?
Well, you definitely weren't able to watch TV anymore.
No, it actually worked.
Yeah, it did work.
It did
was
work.
painful and it was costly to replace. It was like, yeah,
Yes.
especially back then, because TVs actually were couple $3,000.
Oh yeah.
Now you can get like a 80-inch screen TV for $300.
It was like a plasma screen. But anyway, okay, don't do that. But here, do this is either unplug, unplug, do not watch TV right before you go to bed. With that being said, also screen time, take the phone, stick it somewhere else, stick it across the room. If you use it as your alarm in the morning, what I did, I actually got this unit, it's called a Hatch unit. And this Hatch, what it does is it not only it can tell you the time, you can ask it to tell you the time, and it'll tell you what time it is. But when it wakes you up in the morning, it gently does it, right? Rather than scaring the freaking bejesus out of you, when you got that freaking crazy ring on your phone first thing in the morning, startles you to death. But what it does is it starts waking you up with, you can set it to wake you up with like waves or any kind of gentle music. But what it does is it's got the same frequency or wavelengths of the sun that would be rising in the morning.
Yep.
So it actually starts, literally, it feels like the sun is rising in the morning, and it gently wakes you up rather than startling you to death. So that's what I use to replace my phone next to my bed at night, so that I wasn't using that as my alarm right next to my bed.
No, that's super smart. And you definitely don't want to have your phone sitting right beside your bed. In fact, one of the things that I even do, I'll unplug Wi-Fi out of my place to make sure that I can reduce electromagnetic frequencies into the home. It can really disrupt your circadian rhythms and your sleep patterns. So not only avoiding all the artificial light, especially 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed, but even before you go to bed, unplugging the Wi-Fi, not putting your phone directly beside you if that's your alarm clock, because those things are going to disrupt sleep. Listen, life is all about frequencies. There's frequencies that support and heal, and there are frequencies that tear down your cellular structure and damage the mitochondria and cause serious free radical damage. So it is a real thing, Wi-Fi, these 4 and 5Gs. So you have to start thinking about some of this. There obviously are devices that you can put on your phones, you can put under your laptop, you can put certain mattresses under your bed that can help ground and provide some of those ions, those negative ions, to help knock out some of those charges. Very similar to what I do in the mornings, which is called grounding. So that's another thing you can start doing, guys. If you don't ground and sun gaze or solar gaze, I think you want to jump into that really quick, because I think I think
it's great.
That's another thing that it's really been life-changing for me, is every morning getting sunlight on your body and into your eyes and getting your feet on the ground. This is why I'm really excited about being back in Italy, because being around, moving water and floating in water and being around the ocean and moving rivers, there's frequencies and energy that come from these moving streams that help provide those negative ions to knock down the free radical load that puts your body under chronic oxidative stress. So in the mornings, first thing, you've got a couple of hours there for optimal time, is to get up, get sun on your body, and look into the sun. It's not going to sear your cornea. It's not going to destroy your eyes. That's not true. Maybe it's just 10, 15, 20 seconds that you start. But as you start to do that, looking into the sun early in the morning, you're going to start to notice it's very easy to do that. And what that's doing, that's literally charging your body like a battery. And it's already setting up your rhythms for the day, what are called circadian rhythms, which help dictate when you release melatonin throughout the day. And more importantly, how cortisol, melatonin, insulin, and different anabolic hormones work together to help create the environment that you need to go into as you start going to bed, as you start winding down. It really does start first thing in the morning. So not only do you charge your body, you get those negative ions into your body, your feet are on the ground, the sun is in your eyes, it's setting you up for the rest of the day to be in a good place. And another hack that I do is I just don't wear sunglasses anymore. Your eyes are very important to receiving UVA, UVB, all the radiation coming from the earth and the sun. And when you're blocking that off, it can also throw off your rhythms. So just be careful. Don't overuse sunglasses. Don't avoid the sun. Early morning, look into the sun, get your feet on the ground. That one thing right there for a lot of you is going to change your entire life with how you sleep and your metabolism.
Yeah, and another biohack and thing that you can do is, this is super easy because they're everywhere and they're super inexpensive, is even just the blue light glasses. So like, these are my blue light glasses that I wear if I'm doing a lot of screen time, for example. I'll put these on. I probably have like 5 pairs of them. I keep all over the place only because I tend to lose things. But super important. And here's what the research is showing also with the blue light, how this disrupts your sleep patterns, is it really interferes with the production of melatonin. It interferes with hormone regulation. One of the things that's huge when it comes to our program is making sure that, that all the hormones are working synergistically with everything in your body. And the blue light can really disrupt that. So it's a real thing. EMFs that you get from your phone are a real thing. We're going to bring some people even on that are experts in these fields to be able to talk to you about some other different things that you can use, because there's a lot of like EMF blockers that you can use with your body as well. But the one thing that we know for sure is we are definitely overstimulated now more than ever before, and we got to be able to get ourselves into a very relaxed state before we go to sleep. So another thing that you can do is also even with put a dimmer on the lights in your bedroom as well. And so rather than having your lights like literally full blast right before you go to bed, to be able to dim that down, start dimming the lights in your house. First time I even saw this was I was at a friend of mine's house in Chicago, John and Missy Butcher, and I had never seen it before, but automatically every night at dawn, their house, I guess it's the first time I ever saw a smart home, but their home is a smart home, and it started dimming the lights around whenever dawn was, or the golden hours. It started to bring the lights down all the way down till it was bedtime, and they made sure that they went to bed at 9 p.m. every single night. So I thought that was a really good practice, and I started doing that. So dim the lights, good music, softer music as you're going to bed. Also, somebody also wrote in there another good biohack that you can do, and we're going to be talking a lot about this even in Italy, is utilizing your brain tap before you go to bed. So do the brain tap before you go to bed, so you've got positive affirmations going into your head. If you don't know what brain tap is, definitely look it up. Check it out. It's amazing. And that's another thing that can be able to help you with your sleep. Another thing too is,
hey, on that note, really quickly too, if you don't have this technology, if you don't have this equipment, that is okay. I mean, I've got a PIMP medallion I'm sitting on right now to knock out any electromagnetic frequency, along with, if you guys have seen me wear glasses, I've got 20/20 vision. Those are obviously flicker blue light blocking glasses as well. But as also too, is not only sun in the morning, Dr. Rob, and I think you do this a lot as well, is even before or after dinner, as the sun is going down, to be able to look into the sun late in the evening as it's going down is also cueing your body as well to not only get energized in the morning, set your rhythms, it's now keeping your rhythms in track because it's cueing your body, it's getting into your eyes, it's hitting into the back of the macula, into your rods and into your cones, and stimulating those hormones to start getting your body prepared to wind down as well. So that's something that you can do for free. And I think it really makes a difference as well. What's a better day than watching the sun come up and then to watch it go down? And that's a great, great day. That's a day of gratitude right there.
Like if you look at my phone, I've got literally like thousands and thousands of pictures of sunrise and sunset. I can't get enough of it. I will literally stop the car to be able to watch the sunset. It's just, my thing. I love it because my daughter's picked that up as well. She does the same thing. So we're always sending photos back and forth to each other of sunset and sunrise. Another thing that you can do is really key. I've always done this innately. I didn't know the science behind it, but also your body temperature regulation. And so to be able to help with sleep, the cooler that you are, you want to be like somewhere around like 60 to 70 or 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit is what the studies and the research shows on there. So you may want to even consider using like a cooling mattress. I know I've got a cooling pad on my mattress to be able to help cool the bed down, but also I keep the temperature of the room down around 67. I know a lot of people think that that's too cold. I love it. And the science behind it also shows that it can be able to, like you were talking about, help to be able to slow the body down so that your nervous system is healing your body.
That's why you don't want to do, that's a perfect point. I agree with that. Crank down your thermostat, turn the fan on. Another thing, have your face, even your hands, your feet exposed to the cold, which will also help regulate this, bring the body temperature down so you get into a better sleep. That's why you don't want to take a hot shower before you go to bed. That can actually have the opposite effect, could almost even stimulate a glycogen release from your liver for some of you, where you actually are going to secrete insulin. So be careful with that. You don't want to get your body into a place of energy, getting ready to go hunt or gather. So be careful with hot showers in the evening as well. Keep your body cool. Another thing too, that's an important part of the healing process when you sleep, it's called your glymphatic system. This is a system that works with the lymph, and it directly works with the cerebrospinal fluid, and it helps to clear and detox waste from your brain. And sleep is when you do that, because your brain's doing a lot of things when you're awake. It doesn't have time to clean out debris and waste material. So one of the best ways to help improve glymphatic drainage and detox your brain is to actually prop your feet up with a pillow, maybe 15 degrees. Not a lot, but you can put a pillow under your feet, have your feet exposed to the cold, your hands, your face, prop up your feet, and let the glymphatic system really begin to move and clear waste product. That's another powerful strategy with healing and taking advantage of that time. Because remember, that's the time you're not eating. You want to optimize this time of your life to heal, to recover, to repair dead tissue, to tap into stem cell, to clear out brain waste, to optimize hormone activity. All that can be done, and it's all for free, and you get that time to do it from dinner until the very next day when you eat breakfast, which is why I like to take that 12 hours minimal from the time you eat dinner the night before until you eat again the next day.
Yeah, that right there is huge, because I mean, you got to make sure that you've got a great circadian rhythm going, and that's very helpful for that. Another thing that you can do is they've got different sleep optimization devices also to be able to track how it is that you're sleeping. I think that's going to be more of a tracking the symptom of not doing the things
right,
to begin with. Right. So
like
there's
an Oura Ring. Yeah.
Like an Oura Ring. Yeah. There's a lot of wearables out there. Here's the cool thing. And as we're up leveling our programs, and we've been talking to experts literally around the world. We're going to be going to London here pretty soon to talk to some more experts about some different products that we're wanting to help. But as we start meeting these different experts, one of the things that we've come into contact with is a way for us to be able to track all of these data points, to be able to help you to be able to track what it is that you're doing on a daily basis. Because really, and this is something that we talk about all the time, is, if you've ever heard the saying, it's all about the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah.
The growth and everything is in the journey. So the growth in everything is in doing those little things every single day on a daily basis, so that you can be able to see that you're getting wins. But I think a lot of times when people are doing those things and they can't see the wins, they want to stop, right? Yeah. Or they want to give up because they're not seeing it. So we've got a way to now be able to track those small wins on a daily basis. And we're going to be launching that there in Ischia, Italy, and showing our clients how to be able to do that. But it's going to be something that you'll be able to track those daily wins in a very easy way.
It's a whole new platform. And,
Oh,
and
it's
don't
a-
worry, if you're not going to Italy, we're not going to keep it from you.
No.
Just the ones going are going to get first access to it. But coming back from that, you guys are going to have access to this as well. It's a huge value add. And I think everybody's going to be in love with this platform and the way we can also help not only measure metrics, but also hold you accountable. That way, life after happy, healthy is still a great life. It's a life that will get better and better and better.
Yeah, so we'll be able to see in real time what people's like body fat percentages are, what it is that you're doing on a daily basis, so you can't cheat. But again, it's to be able to help you to stay accountable. But the reason I was thinking about that, because we're talking about different wearables and those types of things, it actually uploads into that platform so that we can be able to see those different things on a daily basis, so that if we have somebody even going through our program and they may be going through some kind of a challenge, we can be able to go back and look and say, okay, well, on this day right here, you didn't get any REM sleep. You only slept for this long. And so as a result, now your cortisol levels are too high. Your body is going into a state of fat storage rather than fat burning. We can actually see that because those are things that are subconscious things that are happening that you may not even know that's going on.
Yeah. And remember, when the subconscious, if it never becomes the conscious, you keep blaming your life on fate as if there's nothing that you can do about it. So bringing your subconscious to your conscious brain, helping bring you aware of the things that you're doing, and now taking ownership of that goes a really, really long way. So yeah, we're always in the lab, guys, working on new things because we want you guys to get access to the things that we do. Y'all ask us a lot, what are the things that you do outside of going through your metabolism program, which is really foundational? There's so many things that we've been able to utilize that have helped optimize our health. Me at 49 years young, Rob at 52 years young, really healthier than we've ever been, which is super exciting. We want you guys to come into that world with us, dive deeper, learn with us, get connected to our relationships, the people that we lean on, the people that we learn from. And that's really exciting to me because I feel like we're just scratching the surface with what the entire happy, healthy community is going to be capable of. So encourage you guys, stay connected. Kudos to all of you that are on the live office hours. Those of you who are listening in on the podcast, we're going to keep bringing more great content. Listen, if there's anything you want us to talk about too, let us know. We got a request this week from the group, by the way. They wanted us to talk about wine. And then we're friends with the founders of Dry Farm. So we may have to do a whole podcast on, can alcohol be a part of a healthy lifestyle? And if it can, what's the best way to navigate that? If anybody would have interest in learning a little bit about that, say yes or say no. And we can absolutely do that because there's strategies you need to know, and you need to know about how to drink it, when to drink it, and the right wines to drink, among other alcoholic beverages, which can be a part. Well, I'm not going to say that it can be. We'll just leave that out there, and we'll just bring the data and we'll tell you what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So next week on the Happy Healthy Life podcast, we're going to be talking about, the next episode that we'll do is going to be a continuation of what it is that we're talking about. It may not come out next week only because we're going to be in Italy. But one of the things that we will talk about is nootropics. We'll talk about what that is. We'll talk about different things that are even in our products and why they're in our products. And so I know that's a big thing right now, people wanting to know about that. So we'll talk about that on the next podcast. We'll talk about different nootropics that can be able to help stimulate, motivate, generate new cells in your body to have a healthier metabolism. I was trying to think of as many things as I could.
Were you doing
right.
NXS, meditate, try not to hate, love your mate? What song was that? That was an NXS song.
It was NXS.
All the rhyming. I thought you were doing that. Hey, by the way, too, at some point soon, and maybe the next podcast, I may even dive into some of it here in the office hours. I really want to reveal to our audience, I think, and I'm speaking for me, but it's the number one thing that I learned back in 2004 that shifted the entire way, like nothing had ever done before, with the way I view health. It had the most massive impact on my life. You might even know exactly what I'm even talking about.
I know exactly what it is.
You do know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I want to reveal that to our audience, dive deep with that, so you guys can learn from what I learned from, what Dr. Rob learned from, if you know what I'm talking about, and how it made a massive shift in how we look at health, our future, and the real truth about chronic illness, disease, and what God created for us. Is health really the norm, or is disease really just the way it's going to be? I think you guys know the answer.
And also, for those of you guys who cannot come to Italy with us, we're also going to be a part of a retreat that's going to be in Miami coming up here in November. And so make sure that that you come to that. We'll put all the information in the show notes as well. So that's a little bit closer for those of you who cannot make it to Ischia, and that'll be before we host our own retreat again, which will be sometime. Whoever said, Margie, you're right. It's it's going to be a great time there in Miami. And so if you can get to that. And then, we're always going to be giving you guys great information. So thank you guys for listening again to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. And like it, share it, comment on it, leave us a great review. We appreciate that because those things matter. We don't advertise on the show for anything else. And so
we're not under anybody's thumb. We're not taking anybody's advertising dollars. We never will. We're going to tell the truth. And remember, the algorithms are set up to keep this type content from not getting out. The only way it gets out is when you like it, review it, rate it, and share it. There's a lot of people that need to be listening to this information. You know who they are. So please do that. This message is too important. The Happy Healthy Life is the reality. It should be what people live. And unfortunately, they're living way below that level of health. And it's just not okay. And that's why we do what we do. We love you guys.
Yep. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure to follow them on Instagram at the H2 Life or on YouTube and Facebook at the Happy Healthy Guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts.